So we've come to the last week of God for Normal People. This Sunday was a tough one for me to be able to talk about what happened in Israel with friends there, with pastors there. Oftentimes there are just no words. And we read prayers of lament, which seem like they shouldn't even be included in the Bible. And we sung a lament. And oftentimes that doesn't seem like that is a lot. We need to do something, whether it's halfway around the world or right in our house, something that we need to fix, something that we need to address. And we're overwhelmed. Just like the Israelites, they got the army on one side, you have the ocean on the other. Here we are in the middle. Why did you bring us out in the desert to die? You should have just left us alone. At least we were alive back there. It's a great question. And it's because they wanted to do something. And Exodus 14:14 tells us, the Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. One of the hardest lessons to learn in the entire Christian faith, but a powerful one for those of us who live in 2023. We've been looking at the story of the Exodus, where God is looking at people and they're in incredible pain. God creates a way out. But at some point, we don't even see what God is doing. We don't see the delivery. We don't see the Exodus. We don't see the way through the ocean. And it's at that time where we have to walk in faith, where we have to operate at a different level. There's this story in the Old Testament about Elisha is surrounded by an army, and he's there with someone, and this person's freaking out because there's this army. And Elisha prayed that God would open that person's eyes, and then that person saw behind that army the heavenly host, God's army, what he was doing behind the scenes. And oftentimes we just don't see those things. And so I want you to read the story in Exodus 14, and then the cry of lament, of all of the suffering, and then the victory of Yahweh over the Elohim. And I'm praying that at your prayer time that you can be very forthright with the people that are in your group about a trouble that you're facing, that you don't know what to do, and the only thing that you have available is just to be still and wait for God. I want you to share that, and I want the group to be able to, place a hand on someone's arm that's going through that situation. The Bible talks about the laying on of hands, and what it is, it's a show of solidarity, but also it is a sign. It's a carryover from the Old Testament, like a form of healing. Right, like in the Old Testament, you would pour oil on people and you would anoint them with oil. That when you're putting your hands on, oil represents the Holy Spirit. It's a move of solidarity where you're praying, just putting your hand right on the shoulder. If there's someone that's going through something in your group, you can just have your group just gather around that person and place your hands on that person's shoulder and pray that they can be still and let God fight for them, but pray that God fights for them. Pray for healing. Pray for the Elohim to be drawn back. Pray for a miracle, because that's the kind of God we serve. Sometimes we don't see miracles for a long time, but we never have to doubt that he is at work. I love you guys. Appreciate you going through this study, and I'll talk to you soon.